Nailed it.
Welcome to the first episode of the Not For Anything podcast. There's so many cameras, I don't know which one to look at, so I'm going to do one of these.
We need to focus.
Hold on, where do I look?
Welcome to the Not For Anything podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jessica.
I'm Julia.
And today, for our first episode, we're going to be talking about how you're not special.
And neither are we.
Why are you watching this podcast?
Why are you watching this Don't be watching this podcast. Why are you doing it?
You know what you should do, though? You know what you should do?
Tell him.
The cops that killed Breonna Taylor still haven't been arrested. So
Which is actually, not for anything, fucked up.
Totally fucked up.
That's literally so fucked up.
But you know what you can do? Sign some petitions and look at the resources that we link below.
So do that. Another quick note, since we're just doing some housekeeping, I love this as a production meeting. Due to COVID-19, we will be recording every 2 weeks. We are in each other's bubble of 10, so I'm not coughing on her or speaking moistly on her with anything that's viciously infective, is that a word? Viciously dangerous. But we record every 2 weeks. We quarantine after we record, so we're safe. We're being safe, don't worry, and we wear masks, obviously, outside.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
We're doing our best. That's what anybody can do, really. Anyways. So we're here to talk about some important things. Predominantly the fact that we are not special, and neither are you. You know, and analyze this, where Robert De Niro goes, you're good, you.
I don't.
Okay, well, it's a great bit.
I know him in Taxi Driver.
Okay, so, but just imagine that bit, but you're not special, you. I think that's a good bit. And if we can get him to invest in this, maybe we can afford some better ability to talk.
I don't know why we're nervous.
I don't know why we're nervous.
I'm shy. But yeah, I mean, so the idea of you're not special, it sounds a little bit abrasive, a little bit aggressive. But what do we mean by that? You want to just...
I think it just like... There's like this, no, because in all seriousness, there's like this illusion that's happening with like people our age, and I hate to sound so old and be like, the generation's younger than us, but everybody thinks that they're so important and special. There's becoming a difference between knowing your self-worth and knowing your self-importance and like having self-righteousness kind of thing.
Specifically in our industry.
But it's the whole mentality of like participation badges for everybody. Like,
yeah,
it's that kind of mentality where it's like, if something doesn't happen to you, but you feel that you've deserved it, then it's like not okay by any means.
For sure.
And I don't know if it's just like my trauma, your trauma, where like people literally told us like, you're a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of that.
You don't matter.
Like literally throw a pencil at you and be like, you're fucking illiterate. But like, I don't know if it's like that kind of experience that we had, or if it's just like this new kind of like wave in thought. I don't know if I can't tell if it's progressive or it's not. No, seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what we're talking about is this idea of like the toxic self-image that has come from this idea that we're all special in our own way, and we all bring something to the table, and we're all important, and we're going to change the world. So I was recently listening to George Carlin stand-up, clip where he was talking about this and how every child is special, and how like nowadays, like if you're in a race, the last kid to get through the race is told that he's the last winner instead of just like, you're a fucking loser.
You lost. You literally are in last place. You quite literally lost.
And how that's okay. That's okay. It's all right to like not be great at everything. But he said that the self-esteem movement sort of started in 1970 and we've been fucked ever since.
Huh.
Yeah.
What, like, in terms of the self-esteem movement, hi, I'm stupid. What do you mean by that? Like, just people developing a higher sense of self-esteem?
Yeah, like just the idea that self-esteem is important and is somehow valuable. Is it?
I don't know.
It's somehow like conducive to the good of humanity. Like, if we are all really confident people, the world will somehow function much better if we all have that kind of, you know?
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I do. But it's good. Like,
no, but that's what
that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
I love how we're just talking about George Carlin now. But he makes a point of saying, like, you know who has great self-esteem? Sociopaths.
They actually do, though. Like, murderers.
They do.
Murderers?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they have, like, some crazy shit that they dealt with. But
I'm sure Ted Bundy loved himself. And thought he was fucking special.
He thought he was the shit. He was like, I am the motherfucking T. He really did. He had high self-esteem. The unibrow is another conversation.
I choked on my water. You know what I'm saying?
I know what I'm saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
It takes a real man to walk around with a unibrow and a knife in his pocket.
And also be like, I'm going to murder you. You are going to get into my car. It's just a weird complex. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about you. Love my mom to death. But, like, I don't know. My parents were always like, not to be like, I don't know. They weren't like abusive in the sense where they're like, you're a fucking piece of shit. But it was like, they kind of
emotional support.
There is no emotional support though. But there's sorry, I got choked up. But there's like, it was kind of a sense of like knowing my place, I guess, and I think it comes from like having parents who are immigrants, or like grandparents. Sorry, I'm meaning like as my parents having parents who are immigrants, and kind of knowing like priorities and like their like my grandparents' priority when they came here was like fucking food, money, and like being able to sustain a living, not how was your day at school kind of thing.
Our parents were born in like the late 60s,
Yeah.
early 60s. And I don't think they were raised with that mentality.
No.
Like, I think it came around much later, or it came around stronger much later. Because my parents don't walk around with that attitude that they were going to be these great, like, life-changing people.
Remember in elementary school where you had like bullying week, and which was like important,
all
but like
those assemblies.
all those assemblies about like okay, remember Girls on the Run? You don't remember Girls on the Run is so much fun. No, you don't remember Girls on the Run? Okay,
no?
so
Do you remember Backbone Bystanders? No? Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But Girls on the Run was like a girl, like a youth female like running group to help with body image and exercising and like self-esteem.
Girls on the Run.
It was literally called Girls on the Run, and they used to run
Do
and say,
cardio.
like, Girls on the Run is so much fun. Girls on the Run is #1. Sponsor us. But like it was that, and I never joined it because I was like, I'm a fucking meatball. I don't want to be the only meatball in this group of skinny bitches being like, we love our bodies. And I'm like, I'm here and I hate myself.
Yeah.
But so that like I remember every year or so they would always like come and do an assembly, and a bunch of other like youth groups would come and do an assembly about like loving yourself and being like, I mean, granted, like these are important things to know and believe in, but like it was just telling this to my parents, like if they asked me how my day was, or like me just saying like, oh, this happened today, they'd be like, oh, I never like had that. It wasn't a priority. It was never a priority. Self-esteem.
But what? Self-esteem?
Self-esteem and like boosting your self-esteem. Like especially, I remember being like 12 to 14 and like Dove commercials really slapping you in the face with like self-esteem.
Well, I remember, did your teachers or like one of the big topics in the classrooms that I grew up in was like this idea of like celebrities using Photoshop and like all these images, like media images, and they're not real. And it's like there was such an emphasis on like teaching us how fake those things. Like we had to make collages. You know what I mean? Of, like from magazines, and it was just like, okay.
But I remember more strongly like when we were younger. Like granted, when I walk into the supermarket, you know they have like the tabloids that nobody buys, but they're like really trying to get you to buy it. So they
Jennifer Aniston has a left.
They say some like stupid shit, like Jennifer Aniston has a fourth eye on her asshole, like shit like that. But like I remember seeing like pictures of like Jennifer Aniston like Paris Hilton and Britney Spears.
Lindsay Lohan's like,
save Britney.
Pause. Free Britney.
Free Britney. I don't know what's happening. Free Britney. But pictures of them like on the beach, obviously unedited because they're just with their families on the beach being like, oh, the back rolls, how she's going to get rid of them. Like, I remember both these like ideas.
She's going to get rid of them.
Back rolls. Like, these two ideas like talked about being like, boost your self-esteem, but also the media being like, but you shouldn't look like this. And growing up with that, don't laugh, but I'm going to say the word dichotomy. The dichotomy. Was weird because I was like, I'm just going to hate myself and call it a day.
Well, I just felt like I never got to make an informed decision about like celebrity culture. It was just like, it's toxic and you're going to hate yourself when you turn 14. Like, I remember being in like grade 4 maybe, and like some of my friends were talking about diets and like watching their calories and whatever, and I was like, hey, and I just like didn't get it, and I went home and told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna start like counting calories, as if I like fucking knew what it meant. And my mom was like,
oh girl, I was counting calories in grade 4. That was a fucking badass.
But my mom was like, you don't have to worry about that for like a long time. And like, there's so much in that one sentence, sorry mom, but it's like, I didn't have to worry about it, not ever, but just for a while I didn't have to worry about it until I came of age to start hating my body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's, like, of course, like, I know she didn't mean it like that, but it, like you said, being a kid and, like, hearing that is, like, it's also, like, so weird how, like, we are so impressionable, and, like, one thing our parents could say to us, which, like, would be off the cusp of, like, just because they're adults and they were like, yo, we'd be like, what does this mean? Like, we break it down so much to the point where it, like, eats us, which is a weird mentality we grow up with. So it's like we kind of force ourselves to feel we're not important, unless you're that person that's like, my mom loves me, which is like, fuck you.
And those are the people I want to talk about.
Yeah. So let's talk about these people, because they, like, and this again could be my bitterness, our bitterness, but like seeing people feel so self-righteous and see themselves in a glowing light, but not in a humble way, is like probably the most annoying thing to me.
Yeah, like that's the thing with the people that we grew up with. Maybe like
fucking Ted Bundy.
I would say kids born from like early 90s, start of the 90s, like up until now. I think that's kind of when it started, just from what I see. But it's just like, it's self-esteem to what end?
Yeah.
To what end do you have to feel really good about yourself? Because I have days where I feel like I'm, you know, whatever. And then I have days when I'm like, I literally don't matter. I am a speck of dust on this big spinning blue dot. And die.
Well, I'm the same.
Go in a hole.
I'm the same way. You even said, like, I'm like, one or the other. Like, I'm either like having a day where I'm like,
you're very
where
the dichotomy.
The dichotomy of it. But it's like I have days where I'm like, oh, like I'm feeling myself a little bit. And then there's like real days, like 2 days ago, where I'm like, I'm gonna lie in bed for 6 hours, and if anybody talks to me, I'm gonna scream. Yeah. Like it's weird because I'm never like in the middle, like, oh, I'm a okay person.
But it's normal. I think you and I are, it's normal to have days where you feel good about yourself and days when you feel bad about yourself. But on the days when you feel bad about yourself, I feel like a lot of people our age beat themselves up, and we're just like, why the fuck do I feel like this? I'm supposed to feel great about myself. It's like, you're not supposed to feel great about yourself all the fucking time. Like, that's the problem with
it. It becomes so toxic.
Yeah, because you're just like, why do I not feel like I'm fucking awesome? You know what I mean? And like, there are people, you'll like see like memes or whatever on Instagram where it's like, if you don't think you're the Beyonce in your own life, then like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, it's great to think that you're the main character in your little movie of life, and you know, the whole world revolves around you and whatever. But then when shitty things happen, what do you have?
Literally, it's like
you can't control everything, you know?
It tears the person down so much more because they don't have that, like...
Yeah, it shatters all these ideals that they have set themselves up for.
Yeah, it's completely idealistic and, like, not real. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just... It's odd because seeing... Like, I love seeing people that I know that are actually, like, very down to earth, very, like, when I see them having a day where they say, I'm feeling great today, and they'll, like, post a picture of themselves or whatever, I cheer that person on because I'm like, you know what? That's amazing. I genuinely feel so happy that they're happy and that they're having a good day and they feel awesome. But when when I see posts when I see posts of people being like, oh, I'm doing this and I should get praise for it, and it's not genuine and real and authentic, and it's just for the clout, like, I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like,
for sure.
This sounds so bad, but like literally you don't matter. Like,
no, but you don't, that's the thing, like, no one matters.
We're just stardust, man.
It's just fucking...
We're just stardust, man.
But there's a lot to this, right? Because it's like, well, if no one is special, or sorry, if everybody is special, then no one is special.
Right.
So that doesn't work. But then if no one matters, who does matter? And then if there's no one to matter, then like, I'm a nihilist also, so like this isn't working for me. But no, it's interesting. Like, the idea of dreaming big for yourself is something that kind of fascinates me. I was watching, I'm going to talk about another stand-up comedian.
I'll do it.
Mark Maron, one of his specials, and he was talking about how he can play guitar now because it's not this broken dream vessel that sits in the corner.
Right.
And how there are like some guys in the audience that are probably watching going, oh, fuck, Maron, I just started playing the drums again. Like, we had like a CD that came out in 2001, but we were good. You know what I mean? It's like I feel so bad for like adults that you can see that they hate their job, they hate their fucking life, they dreamed so much bigger for themselves, but then they ended up just like everybody else, because probably you will end up like every other person with a fucking family and 2 annoying kids that you don't want to talk to, and you're all at Thanksgiving dinner talking about politics. Like,
but I see those people are not, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I feel like it's totally, I encourage dreaming big, but again, you have to make it realistic. If you think, I just want this, but you don't like do anything for it. So like, for example,
some people work for it their entire lives and still it's just not happening for them. But I think the problem is that it's almost shocking to those people.
But that's the thing, is like, if people feel like they deserve it versus like, well, I tried and it didn't work out. Like, it's a completely different form of like self-awareness, I think.
Yeah, because it like quite literally has nothing to do with you sometimes. It's just that's the way the fucking
that's fucking life. Did your parents ever tell you to bite the bullet? It was their version of fucking buck up. You're gonna hear that a lot. We tell everybody buck up. Yeah. It's just like, suck it up.
Life sucks.
Life sucks. Deal with
Happens to everybody.
How tough we suck, eh?
Yeah, no, we're horrible.
We're fucking horrible.
This is horrible.
This is horrible.
Pessimistic. Why are you watching this podcast?
But it's like, again, if someone is just genuinely like feeling positive one day, like, I don't know, I guess if it's, especially now with, I sound so old, with social media, I think you're able to express like your internal thoughts more, obviously, and I feel like you and I,
Twitter.
well, listen, when I was 14 years old, I put some shit out on Twitter. Like, you know, I do what 14-year-olds do, right?
Me at 14, people are like, do you have Twitter? I'm like, no.
No.
They're like, why? I'm like, I don't want people to hear my thoughts.
No, you like tweet love quotes that, you know, when you're like young, you're heartbroken over something, you know, whatever.
Have you seen the meme where it's like, girls really be out here posting things like, he was biscuits, but I was not gravy.
He was biscuits, but I was not gravy. That's disgusting. I
love that.
I hate that so much.
I
saw Facebook posted a memory that I posted 8 years ago. Oh, because I was like heartbroken in grade 8. It was such a big like heartbreak.
Yeah, I need like 5 to 10 business days before Facebook reminds me what I posted in 2011.
I know, it's horrifying. I posted a John Lennon quote saying like, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but it was like,
imagine all the people.
No, it was like, something good, things like it'll all work out in the end, and if it hasn't happened, then it's not the end. And I posted that with like a less than 3. According to the Google search that I did, you did.
Fact check.
But now that we can like post our internal, I look like Jeffree Star. Now that we can post like our internal feelings and thoughts, like I feel like, because I'm not vocal about like if I'm having a bad day or like whatever, I kind of just keep it to myself because buck up. Like, I feel like I'm not, obviously, like, there, again, going back, there's, like, so much bigger problems in the world that is, like, I'm having a bad day is not important. Like, at least I think it's not important for other people to see. Because I'm lucky enough where, like, I know I have people to, like, if I'm having a bad day and I need them, I can call them. And I guess that's a separate conversation. But, like, I don't know, because we're able to post all of that so much, if you're posting all the time how great you feel, and it's coming from a disingenuous place and it's not authentic. That to me is like so toxic, and that's what fucking.
And you can smell it on it. Like that's the thing. That's the thing with these fucking people is that you can it comes out of every pore in their body when you can see that they walk around thinking like people are looking at me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god, I
this is like, you know what I mean? It's like that. And it's just the idea with the social media thing. Everyone has an audience nowadays. If everyone is putting on their own fucking show, then there's no one in town just doing whatever. Everyone's in their own fucking theater looking at what everyone else is doing. And people performing their own show. It's like
people that aren't that vocal like actually feel like they're not special, like in a very serious and like separate way.
It's a spectrum, right? Yeah. Of like trying to find that balance between not being an asshole, but then not being like a sad asshole either. Yeah. Like you don't want to like fucking, you bring something to the table, I'm sure. Like there's something about you.
There's just something, there has to be.
But special is a horrible word.
Yeah.
It's not the word. Like everyone, it goes without saying, is different and like unique in their own way. I don't know why that has to be spelled out.
Well, you can't say you're not important, but that's like...
You're important, but not in the ways that you subscribe to feeling important.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide that...
Your existence is important.
Yes.
But the fact that you're eating avocado toast and that you're fucking doing yoga with fucking goats is quite literally not important.
Yeah. Everyone wants to feel like quirky and like different nowadays. And I think like, and we'll get to this like at a different podcast, but like it went hand in hand with like being a girl for a little while. Like you're not like other girls.
Okay, remember we were talking about this on the phone one day. Remember when we were talking about us being little? I told you the story when I was in Italy. Okay, so when I was little, I was like really fat. I had a big space in between my teeth. I had like really stunning triangle curly hair. And I was in Italy at my cousin's house, and we were getting ready to go to like, I don't know, for ice cream probably. And I put
gelato.
Yes, but I don't know. I didn't want to be that bitch. Okay, I'm always that bitch in life, and I didn't want to be that bitch. We're going to get gelato, and so I went to go put on my fucking rhinestone headband that I had when I was 10, and I did like this, and I pushed it back, and I looked at I don't know why I thought this, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I went,
you're so pretty.
I literally I did. I said it was the first time. I didn't say I was so pretty. I said I'm a different kind of pretty, and that's what I noticed. But that was the thing, is like there became this like attraction of being like I'm unique, and then everybody was like I'm unique. It's the same way Melanie Martinez went on The Voice and was like had this like voice like fucking frosting. It was like like she was the first one like at least I know to sing like that, and then everybody's like, oh, I have a unique voice. I'm gonna just
I sound like an indie singer.
Yes, like no. If everybody else sounds like an indie singer, your voice literally is basic. You are basic. Like
you're not special.
You're not special. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you're not special. I'm not special.
Well, it's the idea too of like everything's already been done.
Yeah.
So fucking calm down.
Calm down. Like, be your fucking self, and that's it. That's it. I just sounded like a fucking like one of my hosts. Be your fucking self.
Be your fucking
self. And that's it. What are you gonna do?
Bada bing,
bada boom, yo. Just be yourself, yo. That's it. Robert De Niro. Again, if you're watching this, big fan of you.
So stupid.
But have you ever been to like a party or something and like that person walks in and they're like, I have arrived?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like it happens all the time.
Do you know, I think I've told you about this quote from Easy A where the teacher's like, what is it with you guys and documenting your every thought, where it's like Roman bought a Coke Zero at the gas station, raise the roof.
Okay, I used to tweet shit like that, so don't come for me.
But it's just like, like it's,
but I was young.
We're almost too self-aware at this point.
Yeah.
Like, do people just exist anymore?
I don't know.
Do you just ever fucking breathe and like sit in a room and like
you
not
can't,
move
man.
for a
you
little
can't.
bit?
There are like literally so many distractions where like like for me, I know if I have to like, this is very rare where I like need to meditate, but if I do, I need to like tell my whoever's home not to fucking come bother me for the next 15 minutes. I need to turn my phone off my phone. Like I gotta plan.
Go to the bathroom and like just fucking.
I can't just sit down and I was trying to do that Brian West Past Lives thing. Yeah. And I did it without warning my sister, and my sister came upstairs while I had my headphones on, and she woke me out of a fucking.
You ejected
like
out of the
meditation? It was like a hypnosis. So I like woke up, my arm was all fucked. I was like, God, like I can't relax. I can't. You have to schedule.
No, it makes me
relaxation
more
time.
nervous to relax.
Yeah.
To be honest. honest, like there are days when I do meditate and it's great. There are days when I lie down and I'm like, am I gonna have a panic attack? Like literally, I'm like, I get so
I'll lie
nervous.
down and I'll be like, I think. Like, I just become so self-aware of the fact, I do this a lot when I, like, look at stars. I get very emotional when I look at, don't laugh at me. I get very emotional when I look at, like, stars. If I sit outside at nighttime, and I'll do this if I'm, like, up north or whatever, if I have, like, a second to fucking breathe outside.
Like the Big Dipper?
No, well, because I look at the stars and I see them flicker, and I see, like, how they change color because they're burning fucking balls of gas. And that literally makes me emotional. The other day, I was looking at stars, and one of them, I had to write it down in my journal because don't look. I had to write it down in my journal.
I get emotional.
I was fucking weeping. It was okay. So this star. Okay, so I was looking at it like this, and this star fucking was running across the sky, and it wasn't a plane. It was not a plane. Let the jury be known. It was not a fucking plane. It was not anything. It was a star, and then it went away, and I was like, so I wrote
a shooting star.
No, it wasn't a shooting star. I know what shooting stars look like. It was like a little star. It started here, and I was looking, and then it went, okay, and then it disappeared, and then I was like, so I kept looking for 5 minutes. From there, it went. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was weeping. I was like writing my journal. I was like, thank you for coming to say hello. Like it was this whole moment. I get very emotional when I'm outside.
What are you talking about?
Anyways, I don't know where we started with this. Relaxing and like being self-aware. And I remember now. I become so self-aware of my existence when I'm looking like up at space because I'm like, I am literally nothing. I think about the fact that we can only see things that are like, how old was yours? 14 billion light years away.
Mm-hmm. That astronomy class changed you forever.
Yeah, it literally did. And that like, there's so much that we're not seeing because we can only see things that are like 14 billion years old. Like that it makes me so self-aware and like trips me out. Like I can't go look at stars if I'm like ever on any substance because I'd lose my mind.
Not at all.
But it's that like
just
self-awareness.
Thinking too much about what this all is and how we'll never know the answer is a lot.
Yeah.
Like to process in general. But getting back to the idea of like no one being special. So I was at a party this past year.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out. I was like listening to other people's conversations without them realizing I was.
Oh, I love doing that.
And I was just like, they were behind me, and I heard these two people talking, and one of them said, I just feel like I'm supposed to do something great. I just feel like I'm special, and I'm good. I need to, there's a predestined like plan for me that I'm supposed to follow, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm supposed to, and I was just like, I was so taken aback because I was like, someone said it out loud. I was like, oh my God, that's how we all feel sometimes, right? Whether you had it as a kid or you had it later in life, you have it now, we've all gotten to that place where just for 1 second you're like, am I supposed to be like a big deal? Am I like a big deal?
But do you feel like, okay, so for people who don't know, we work in theater and we do various different things in the theater industry. Jess does some devised work and set design.
You're like, I don't know what the fuck you do.
I almost had a moment where I was like, no, but she set design. She just like, she does interior design. She does so much. So like, I don't know how to pinpoint it. I do a couple different things like her. So we have
management,
like,
yeah,
I do management design. I do a lot of things. Whoever wants to hire me. But I feel like in theater, there's always like this joke of like, we weren't hugged as children, so we like all found this community in theater to
performers.
To remind each other how important we are and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So how do you think like those two connect? Like, do you think there's I don't want to keep saying the word dichotomy. God, that's so annoying. But like, there definitely has to be a relationship for, people in our industry thinking that they're special, maybe not vocalizing it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we didn't grow out of it as fast as everybody else did.
Yeah.
Probably. Or the people that ended up in different industries are just like, I'm going to be special in that thing.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to the idea of just like needing attention and like needing validation from other people. And that's not all it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like acting isn't just about like, oh, you just want a fucking audience in front of you because you think you're amazing. It's obviously much more than that, as is like the production elements, but like I I just think that the people we are around, I can see how much they're still holding on to this like tiny dream.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they let it simmer and they feed it. And they're just like, one day, I will rule the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they go from like that high to I fucking suck. That's never gonna happen for me. And what am I doing? And I hate myself. And it's too much. It's like two different extremes. And it's like you have to find that middle of realizing that you are the only you that exists, and that is perfect.
Yeah.
That is good enough. It's people trying to like fine tune it or find like facets of themselves that are like interesting and look at me because I'm this. That makes me separate from all of you. It's like
I'm actually unique. It's like that. I don't know what impression.
Who did I just meet? Someone just came out. I don't know who it was.
It's one of the many voices, I'm sure.
I didn't meet her before.
She's new. Welcome. Hi. Oh, I should probably go back to therapy, huh?
I need a second. Oh my god. But yeah, it's like you just existing is proof that you're different.
Yeah.
When you are born, you're in the safe zone already, kid.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to just be like, what is the new thing that makes me me? And it's like the black eyeliner and emo band is not helping you. I'm talking to myself. I'm wearing a mesh shirt. Like, what am I doing? But it's just as if you're the only emo kid at the table.
No, it's not what I meant.
It's not what
It's not what I meant. I am actually unique.
But I feel bad for them because I know that.
Yeah.
I can see it in them, that thing that I try to check and suppress and like not let it get ahead of me, because as soon as it starts getting ahead of you, you're fucked.
So, interesting thought. So kind of coinciding with that, I just fucking did the finger thing. Do you think, so people can do that and be like, oh, I'm like doing something extremely different that's unique. Do you find people also look for that attention and doing like the bare minimum of things and being like, I did it? And like looking for recognition for just doing the bare minimum? Like, I mean, I'm talking mostly, like most work experiences I've had, people are like, why didn't I get like extra notice that I did this specific thing? And I'd be like, that's your job. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
You and I talk about this all the time.
It drives me nuts because people expect to be rewarded for every single little thing they do, or like the expectation of what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is where I'm like, literally, you're not fucking special. Like, unless you go, and this is mostly like in a work like place kind of mindset is where I'm kind of at. But like if you go like above and beyond, then of course then like you obviously get like specific recognition. But like if I told you, hey, sweep the floor, and you swept the floor, and you're like, I swept the floor, it's like, yeah, I told you to.
No, for sure. I remember saying to you, it's this idea that drives us both fucking nuts, where people think they've exceeded expectations when they've just met them. Yeah. And it's like, I remember looking at my report cards from elementary school and being so excited. It's like exceeds expectations.
Oh yeah, I loved E's.
And I loved it, but I was also like, I still at the time had a consciousness about it where I was like, how did I exceed expectations? Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, if I'm exceeding expectations, what the fuck is Bobby doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just
when you
so
look at like
confused.
other people's report cards, or like even like, because listen, I was a fucking brown noser, of course. I exceeded. I knew when I got a G, I was pissed.
But that's the difference. I wasn't like that, and you and I still ended up in the exceeding expectations category. I did well in school, and my teachers liked me, and you know, I wanted to be there, and I made the effort. But like, making the effort and passing the class is not exceeding expectations.
It's like, and you don't really learn that, I guess, until like university, where it's like, where you're like, C's get degrees because you're like, I'm doing my thing. It's not good, but I'm doing it.
Well, it's because we have this idea that once you go into university, all the people that suck will be filtered out, and it'll just be the good ones. Yeah. And then you're there, and you're like, I'm in a group project again where I'm doing all the work.
Yeah, yeah.
How did we all end up in this same room? This is ridiculous. But it's all connected.
all connected.
Like, that's the problem, is that it's just like everyone thinks they're so amazing that they deserve to be in the same rooms as people who work twice as hard or want it twice as bad or went through twice the amount of trouble and struggle in life than somebody else did.
Do you feel like people... Sorry to go back to celebrities, but just because we were talking about Breonna Taylor before, and you know we're talking about that, there's like literally, why are you listening to this? Go listen to like actual like important people. But like I've been thinking a lot about like YouTube apologies lately, and like that's why I said the Jeffree Star thing before, because we were watching it just before recording, because it just wanted. It drives me so nuts, because like we all know how he talks, and we see the I'm
so sorry.
Yes, it was all very. It was like. We kept joking because I kept memeing the fact, like in Canada, we have to do, I don't know if you have to do this in the US, I don't know, so I'm just going to explain it. But like in elementary school, you do like speeches, and you like, you like present them to your class, and if you make it to the gym, like I did, you say your speech to the gym, and then you go to like another round. But you literally start off and go, you like do a crazy intro, and then you do, good morning, honorable judges, teachers, students, and guests. Today I'll be talking to you about blank.
Yeah.
And like, I made the joke of like, oh, when you're in grade 6 and you're practicing it to your parents, and your mom is like, make it a bit more like memorable and eccentric, and like use hand gestures, and you're like, so and so and so and so and so is great, and on great you like do like this random. That was his whole apology, and I was like, bye.
Just it's regurgitating like
so just about like, why do you think they deserve the credit, the attention, platform, we talk about this all the time, which is why we started this podcast, but like, you have a platform, but you don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Why do you have
unless it's trendy, and like that's the thing, is that it's just like
Jeffree Star did an apology because Shane Dawson did Jenna Marbles did an apology. Like, all the other people did apologies, and he's like, and I'm sure someone was like, you literally called someone a monkey, like, you need to do an apology, you racist person.
But maybe if they hadn't done those apology videos, he would have done one anyway. Who's to say? But it's the fact that like, all of these YouTube personalities need to be coddled and like told what to do, because they obviously like just don't take the initiative on their own. But like, one of the problems I had is like, I'm not saying Jenna Marbles' apology video was great or it was horrible or it was whatever. I'm just saying I didn't get a chance to even... I was informed of my opinion before I even got to decide one for myself.
Right.
Because everyone was like, she knows how to apologize. And I remember I went to the comments immediately, because I was like, how do we know that this is the apology, that this is how it should go? And I saw one comment that was probably, like, I assume a person of color, who said like, this is not up to white people to decide if this is the right apology. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Like, why are we like, that's it, nailed it,
you killed it, set, like, no.
You know what I mean? It's like, what?
You're
not apologizing to us.
I didn't even watch it first, because I was like, I was on TikTok, and I saw a user who was a person of color who was like saying, Jenna Marbles, like, we forgive you, and I was like, okay, so maybe it was like actually good, like, let me go watch it, because I figured it's gonna be like I did something wrong, I'm sorry. But she was crying. She was to me
that's the bar.
But I was like, to me, I was like, it seemed, this is where it's like, it's not black or white. It's like, it seemed like genuine. Whereas like when I watched Shane Dawson, he was like, please cancel me. Go ahead. And I was like, I literally watched you at 10 years old wear blackface pretending to be Cordon Bleu. Like
for sure. There's Cordon
chicken Cordon Bleu. What's his name?
Cordon Bleu.
Chicken Cordon Bleu.
But
leave me alone, it's anesthesia. But yeah, there was, for me, I was like, okay, there's a very clear sense of like, I can sense a genuine apology from someone versus not so much a genuine apology. But also, it's not up to me to like decide. As a kid, I watched those videos and went, you know what I mean? Like, I knew they were wrong, but I was like, what, at the time, like 9, 10, 11 maybe? So I was like, I don't know what to do.
Well, it's just, we live in an echo chamber society where like, really, everyone's feelings and instincts can happen and, you know, they ebb and flow with everything else. But until a really loud voice says, that's wrong, people are like, I agree.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I agree.
I've always known
I agree.
it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And that's the thing, is that it's just like sometimes you'll like.
I'm gonna drink a glass of water here. Go ahead.
But like something will come out and be like, and everyone's like, this is wrong, and I'm like, yeah, it's been wrong.
Lillian. Pleasure doing business with you.
But that's the thing, it's like, it's groundbreaking to some people when they're like, yeah.
Like,
guys.
When people were like, being like, well, Aunt Jemima's not like racist. I was like, guys, it's been racist.
Yeah.
She was a minstrel character. Like, it's been bad. Like, it's been wrong. So, yeah, and granted, like, again, just these apologies aren't up to me to decide whether or not, it's worth. Like, I don't watch YouTube people that much anymore anyways. I did when I was, like, younger, but I don't anymore because I'm like, what do you do for society that I should give you my time, attention, and my information from the AdSense that you're getting money from? Like, you don't deserve my whatever.
Do you ever feel like fangirls are, like, actually nuts? We've talked about this also.
Yes.
But, like, I'm like, why do you care about, like...
Okay, disclosure, I was a fangirl when I was 14, but I was 14, I didn't know any better. Okay.
But no, I'm kidding. But it's just
still kind of sorry.
But it's just to devote your life to someone else. Because I haven't had it. I think all of you are crazy. Like,
I know. Well, here's the thing. Like, so
I don't know that feeling of looking at someone and being like, you changed my life. Like,
it's a very emotional experience, actually. Like, for me, I was younger, I was depressed, I was, it's a lot of musicians for me, just because of, like, what their art did for me. Like, when I went to the Paramore concert 2 years ago, I wept the whole time, because like,
but that's what I mean. To be affected by art, by things, that's great, and that happens. To be so taken by it that you're like, every day of my life will now be spent looking at your social media, making my own Instagram account for you, posting pictures, posting quotes, making my own Twitter for it. That, like, I'm like, what are you doing?
I grew out of that. Like, I grew out of that when I was 18 because I said the same. I was like, what am I fucking doing? Like, I had a fan account on Twitter. Like, I was like, what am I doing? Like, it eventually became an outlet for me to, like, express myself to a group of people that I felt I could relate to it, because I didn't feel in high school like I had that group. And then it wasn't until we all became closer in university that I was like, it was like at the end of grade 12, I was like, I should probably stop doing this because I'm a grown-ass adult. I wasn't a grown-ass adult, but I thought I was, So I grew out of it. But, like, there are people that I know from those fan base, like that fan group that are, like, my age and older that are still, like, obsessed with those bands. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about maturing. It's like you have to realize that is not the reason that you don't exist because of Josh Ramsey from Mariana's Trench. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt that way. I always felt, he helped me, and, like, his music helped me continue to exist. But I don't exist to worship Down with Webster. I used to, but I don't anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That's just.
It's just scary.
It's a self-awareness.
It's scary because it's just. We live in a time where that culture's new still. Yeah. Like, it's been around for a while, but, like, in the 1910s, there weren't fucking, like, bands where people were like, oh my God.
I'm going to make a Beethoven fan account.
Like, and
that wasn't the 1910s, but history's a little off there.
I'm going to make a Beethoven account. But it's just, I think there's something valuable in appreciating and seeing worth in other things and art and beauty and all that stuff without it being all you are. Because it's like, is that the thing that they think makes them special? That they love Taylor Swift? Is that what it is? I don't know. Or are they just saying, like, well, she's the most special person to ever come into existence and we all need to, like, bow down to her? And it's just like, she's a
person. Like, they are people.
Exactly. There is good and bad in every single one of them. And it's just like, this shock factor when they do something wrong is like, you're human? You know what I mean?
How dare
you? And it's like, to an extent, when you're racist, you fucking suck.
You fucking racist.
You're fucking racist. It's not funny. But, like, I just don't, it's very confusing to me.
It's concerning me. And that's the thing. Like, it does become toxic. Like, not even in a fangirl sense, like if it's taken to an extreme, but you know, people just living for the clout, like not like understanding that we are all the same people.
We are more alike than we are different.
Exactly. Like,
for sure.
Because just because Jeffree Star does makeup reviews and shows receipts and they're dramatic, like I know 10 people that also do that. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like, what did you expect? That these were the new gods?
Yeah.
That these are like...
They don't matter.
They literally don't matter. And I guess that's more what we're talking about. Not that, like, you should just die and there's no point in living. And it's like, it's just about,
why does their opinion matter? Why aren't you listening to, like, Michelle
Obama?
Obama?
Who decided this? Who decided that that was the voice of our age? You know what I mean? And it's like, there's so much attention being given to it. It's just... And it's, I think the repercussions of it is that, like, Jeffree Star was probably raised thinking, everyone is special and unique. I am special and unique. When I become famous, that makes sense. It makes sense that I'm famous. Because you think you're special, then when it happens, you're like, I was right! You're like, I was right!
You know who I fucking miss?
Who?
Oprah.
When I was practicing our topics in the shower, I started speaking like her. I was like, to be it. I sound like
it. Yeah. I mean, I just think we need more articulate voice. People that, like, do things for the world. Because despite Oprah's, like...
What a bold thing to ask.
I know.
People that do things.
What does...
Besides makeup.
Yeah.
Why does anyone care what Kylie Jenner's doing?
Oh my God! Don't even get. That's a whole other
podcast. We have to talk about it actually just on one podcast because it actually I can't.
I literally can't. I can't. They've
make me.
Don't even literally. I need to get out of my seat. Don't even literally get me started because it makes me so infuriated. What the fuck do? You make lipstick. Sure, you might inspire people to become makeup artists. That's great. That doesn't mean
that's where it ends.
That's it. It's not like you're saving the fucking rainforest, even though you can. It's not like you're helping global warming, even though you can. It's not like you can feed people who are, like, homeless or feed people that are hungry, even though you can. You can do all this shit, but you choose to indulge it in yourself. And it's so self-righteous and toxic, and it makes me fucking insane because people try to, sorry, I'm having a stroke, but people try to impersonate that and try to be like that. I mean, it's like, that's not the person you should be. I'm gonna keep using Michelle Obama as a reference because I fucking love her, but be like fucking Michelle Obama. Like, be like someone who's like that, like someone who does things for people, does things for society.
I just feel bad for these these little girls who are like, can you think of a better person? And then take a picture of Kylie Jenner, and it's like, I can think of 15, like literally right now. Oh my God, I feel bad for you. I feel bad that is your entire world. That's your perception. That is the bubble that you live in.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's like, that's it for you then.
Yeah.
It's just Kylie Jenner is God. Okay. Like, it's, I can't even fight them on it. I'm just like, you're a lost cause.
Anyways, the point we're trying to make here, guys, is we're not special. We're not special. You know, most people in the media are not special. They don't do anything. So, you know, I've said ever since, I mean, maybe second or third year university, like, the more I grow up, the more I kind of, like, filter out all that bullshit, and the more I'm like, who do I want to be inspired by?
Yeah, for sure. And I just, like, some of my favorite people in my life that, like, I'm not best friends with, that aren't, like, I don't see them every day, but, like, just people that I know, some of my favorite people are the ones who walk around and have no idea how great they are.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, fucking love him.
Like, it's just this, like, he's just here doing his thing.
And he's
just
great.
Doing his
he's
thing.
literally so good at what he does.
And he's nice, and it's whatever. And I'm not saying, like, be passive in order to get people to like you. I just mean, like, he walks around and just, like, does his shit, and he's great.
Yeah.
And I'm not even best friends with him, but I'm like, you're one of my favorite people.
Yep.
Just because you fucking get it.
Yeah.
And he's not, like, I'm amazing, and I'm waiting for these bitches to find out.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a plan.
Yeah.
It's not this like secret like the cameras don't follow me around all day, but when they do, you know.
But when they do, they really do. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I was raised by like people who like did want me to capitalize on like certain strengths and everything, but they also told me that I was great at everything, which now has given me no direction in life, because if I'm under the impression that I can do anything. You can't do everything. Yeah. And that's okay.
That's good.
That's okay. Good. I ran cross country every year in elementary school. Never came in the top 10. Never came in the top 10. That's okay.
I ran cross country and had a really like bad hyperventilate. Like I was hyperventilating because I was a fat fuck, and then the teacher had to pull me aside. I said, "Don't tell anybody that this happened." And I said, "Just tell them I didn't even bother to like try." But that's okay, because I don't want. That's okay to not be good at a thing. It's okay. That's cool.
It's okay to not be good at everything. It's okay to really love a thing and not excel in it the way you think you're going to. If you're not a famous movie star one day,
all good.
It's okay. And that's probably what's going to happen. You're probably just going to end up with a job that you really like, hopefully. You're going to find love. You might have a family, you might not have a family.
And that's it. Okay.
And that's perfect.
That's A-okay.
Do what you want.
And be happy.
But don't put all these ideals on yourself. Way too much pressure. Way too much pressure, folks.
Anyways, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Again, we don't matter. So if you don't listen to this,
turn off this podcast.
Turn off this fucking podcast. We've been talking for way too long. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Nice talking to you, Jess. Pleasure's all mine. Cheers.
Love you, bud.
Love you, bud.